that lets me know that you all answer to the call of, issues going on in our communities. Today marks 725 days since I took the oath to serve the people of the Harvey 2nd Ward. In that time, I've worked relentlessly to be present, responsive, and rooted in service. From organizing block cleanups to showing up for grieving families, from advocating for youth programming to standing beside our seniors. My work has never been performative. It's always been personal. But alongside that service, I witnessed a troubling pattern in our government. A pattern of silencing voices and shielding decisions from public view. Across our city, residents are facing fee increases on water bills, municipal gas tax, property taxes, housing inspections, and business license, to name a few. Implemented, with little to no committee discussion or public explanation. I've pushed for legislation to bring these increases before council committees where they can be debated and justified. These efforts have gone ignored. We, the people of the city of Harvey, this administration, this 9-body council, should be coming together on these issues, not to burden our residents, but to develop solutions that bring in new revenue and vital services. We should be focused on attracting a grocery store, a pharmacy, stable businesses to our community, not pushing people out with higher costs and unanswered questions. I also want to speak honestly and directly. I take full accountability for speaking when asked to come to order. My passion for the issues facing our residents sometimes pushes me beyond procedural boundaries. But my intent has always been to speak for those who feel voiceless. For the residents who elected me to stand in this chamber and represent them with courage and conviction. We are all elected to serve the people, and that means we should all be held to the same standard of transparency and responsiveness. Public service demands public answers, not silence, not avoidance, not suppression. To the 2nd Ward and to the citizens and the residents of the city of Harvey, I will continue to fight for you. I will continue to speak up for you, even when it's uncomfortable. And I will continue to push for a city government that works for the people, not against them. And at this time, I want to bring forward Miss Allen. As you all know, her mother's home. She actually turns 89 tomorrow. Can we all say happy birthday, Miss Allen?
Happy birthday.
An amazing 2nd Ward resident. She's been in this community 27 years. And to think that my very questioning of why the home was being sold and how it was being sold and who it was being sold to would then cause not only me harm, but as we celebrate the day after Mother's Day, and happy belated Mother's Day to all my mothers, could you imagine your mother in handcuffs because she stood up for her child? Well, that's what I was faced with on Monday, April the 28th. But that's why that's in the rear view. And we're focused in on the windshield, the bigger picture. In 17 months, we got a lot of work to do. So let's get to work.
Thank you everyone for coming out. I'm speaking for my mother, Betty M. Allen, and the family. There has been a taking of one of my mother's properties as a double lot here in Harvey. She has faced issues of being basically strong-armed or coerced into signing documents, disconnecting the property so one of the properties could be sold, which in fact I understood on April 28th. They in fact sold one of the properties for $2,000 to an investor, and without giving us notice that it was happening. We would have generally just given them a donation for Harvey to go away. We are asking for due process. That's all I'm asking, is due process. So that we can all come together, your proof, my proof, and let's just say who actually owns the property. My mother holds the deed. We have the original deed. That deed has never been transferred, it has never been sold. I have found the property. And I am saying what the city of Harvey did. I find it unconscionable. I find that they have my phone number, my email address. We live down in Gallup. I am asking that this be stopped and light be shown on it. I'm asking for due process from time to have that done. And I appreciate Ms. Colby actually standing up. She went to jail defending my family, and we elected her. The people of the second ward elected her to speak for us. Miss Betty cannot come and speak for herself. That's why we voted for Miss Colby. Why won't they let her speak?
Well,
They wouldn't even let me speak. So,
good. Speaking tonight.
and I'm just asking that this be noticed. On top of that, imagine not being able to get up in the morning to wash your face, brush your teeth, take your medicine, have a cup of tea. Well, this actually happened to my mom. She's 88 then. They cut her water off starting February the 14th for weeks. So until they had her to agree to having the water disconnected. And at that time, it was off again for an additional, I want to say 30 to 60 days. Eventually, that caused harm to her health. We had to agree at that point to get her water turned back on. It was told to us that if we didn't do that, that the water would be cut off in both homes, and that they would condemn one of the houses. They would condemn the house as unlivable, and therefore they would take the property anyway. I feel that that is totally against all that is right, and we would like to have our opportunity or day in court to discuss this matter.
It's criminal. It's criminal.
It is criminal.
That's what you call criminal activity.
I would like to state for the records that we have, I'm Pastor Johnson, we have filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Harvey for the erroneous water bills that have been issued to residents and business owners. So if residents or business owners would like to join the class action lawsuit, feel free to reach out to me as well. There has been an inflation of water bills. Before the water department was out of receivership of Chicago, our water bills were very low. And now that it's in the hands of the city of Harvey, that water bill is now $600 to $700. And it's all because we're not playing the game of politics. So again, I would like to let it be known that it's free of cost to anyone in the city of Harvey that has received these egregious acts of retaliation and foolishness that's going on with this administration. And now it's time to take the fight to the street. I thank God for all of the publications that are here, that are present, because it's time to take the fight to the street because we don't have a voice inside of City Hall.
That's right. I'd now like to bring to your attention that you didn't know across 153rd and Myrtle, 16 families, 9 that were occupied, 7 that were no longer will have the opportunity to live in their home. And behind me are a hero and a shero that are still standing, still tall on 153rd and Myrtle. But this is now the 17th home, right? Miss Allen's home is also one murder. And so I'm flabbergasted that across Myrtle, we have the 17th resident that has a housing issue. So at this time, I'd like to bring Ms. Poole Tingle and Mr. Tingle, who has been a resident here 50 plus years, 80 plus years old, and an amazing man.
I am Carlita Poole Tingle. My dad is Joe Poole, and this is my sister Lenore Poole. We have, my father has lived on 153rd and Myrtle for 52 years. Today actually is our 3-year anniversary from my mother's death. July 15, 2023, we were informed by Metropolitan Water Reclamation District that our home would be taken. So they met with us to let us know that, and that was to everyone that was on the block, that our homes would be taken. During that meeting, it was asked, well, why did you choose this block? And the mayor wasn't present at the time that we were being told. It was later found out that 4 years prior, the mayor knew what was going to happen to us, but he kept that a secret. That's what made it become controversial, because he kept this a secret from us and didn't tell us. We're the last resident on the home. When it comes to eminent domain, it's a thing of you either take that deal or that's it. So, we're being forced to leave. Not that we want to, because like my dad will be 90 in August. And we just lost our mother 3 years ago. So therefore, this was supposed to be our forever home. He worked hard. He migrated from the south to come up north to lose everything. And the thing, the notion of, you know, it being said, well, they can just start over. Look at the housing market that we're in. It's not that easy. Even the money that was given to us, it's not a lot that we can go out and purchase the same type of home that we have. The home that my father lives in actually has two. The one that I live in and the one that he lives in. It's a 6-bedroom home, over 2,500 square feet. We will never be able to afford that. They did not give us enough to afford that. But the point of the matter is, my father and mother worked hard to own what they had, and it's just to be gone. We would have never seen this coming. Thank you.
And they promised them that they would make them whole. When they were doing the deal, they said that whatever that they appraise your property at, if you want to move to Homewood or South Holland, you find something, and you don't, that money that they gave them for their home was not enough, they said they were going to make them whole, and they lied. That is a criminal act.
Right.
That is a lie, and it's a criminal act. This is not the way that you run a city. This is not necessary. One block over, 152nd and Lexington, there are only 2 occupied homes on that block and 1 business. They could have put it right there. What
Right.
the hell is going on?
Right. Absolutely.
Hi, my name is Chappelle Hooks. I am a 51-year resident in Harvey. I am also elected to the Harvey Public Library Board. The problem here is that we have a person that feels that they have power when we are the power. We the people are the power. We have been bamboozled and hoodwinked.
Mm-hmm.
We were told that the prior administration was killing us and taking everything from us, when in fact it's this administration. Our streets are raggedy, they're dark. We have 5,427 abandoned homes in Harvey. Why would you take people out of their homes to put a pond when you have so many streets with no residents living?
Absolutely.
You have abandoned lots. There's an abandoned lot across the street from my house that's been abandoned for 30 years that they could have used. Dixie Square, they could have used. These people are losing their generational wealth. He and his wife purchased their homes for their children to pass down to their kids, like a lot of our parents did. They came here in the 70s, the 60s, 70s. Some families was here from the beginning, 1891. And they tried to build to leave something for their families and for their future generations. They can't do that now, not here in Harvey. That's not fair. And then you sit back, you humiliate an elected official. You allow them to abuse her in the public eye. But you sit up there and you say how your mom was abused. But you allow them to abuse her? What type of person are we dealing with? Ask him his real name. How many of those he got? Who is he today? Is he Clarence or is he Chris? Let's do some research here. So, in closing, I want everybody to continue to come to these meetings. Don't make this the one. Come to these meetings. See what's going on. Because in the prior administration, Chris Clark, Shirley Jawinski, Joseph Whittington, and Lamont Brown, the 4 aldermen, they vowed and made a pact to incapacitate our city. And that is exactly what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Keisha E. McCaskill. I am the Cook County Commissioner here in the 5th District, and I stand here in solidarity with the city and the citizens of Harvey, as well as the 2nd Ward Alderman. I stand here as a woman first, and then a resident. And on those premises, we at some point need to come together and work together. The city of Harvey does not have the luxury to have the news here to report on these types of issues. We need the news here to report on the monies that we need to come into our community. We need the news here when it's time to talk about the disbursement of the funds that do come into our community. We need the news here when our seniors are telling you that their homes are being taken from them. In my role as commissioner, I have the responsibility of not only identifying where I live, but also helping with legislation, policy, and budgeting. So it is my job and it is my responsibility, and I make a commitment to the city of Harvey and the residents, my fellow residents, where I live, to ensure that we have some level of mediation to happen between our aldermanic and our mayoral. Something must happen. The city of Harvey does not have the luxury of this type of leadership. We need to have leadership in place, either it be with the current mayor or someone else, but there needs to be leadership in place that makes people like the county, the state, and the federal government want and desire to send monies here. It's very difficult to bring monies and programs and grants and other opportunities into a city when it doesn't look like the council can get along. It is imperative that we begin to look at those things. We need to look at reforming the Harvey jail. We need monies for that as well. I too have been a visitor of the prison. However, that's neither here nor there. My point is, we cannot continue to move forward in the order that we currently are. Everyone that's here in the news, we like to report all the negative stuff. When we do the positive, we need you here as well.
That's right.
The issues that are being brought before you today, these are not new issues. These are issues that have been being made aware to you over the past 3 years. So together, we're going to need to find a way to mediate this situation, not only for Alderwoman Chapman, that was the error, for Alderwoman Chapman, but for Mayor Clark as well, to come together and have decent adult conversations, because we're responsible for governing our city. So with that being said, if I can assist in any way, I know Alderwoman Chapman has reached out several times. I've reached out to the mayor. Our schedules have not been able to connect, but I am using this platform tonight as a calling to him, as a call to action for him to work with me and to work with the commissioners and the governor. I'm just calling you everything. It's like, God, what are you doing? What are you doing? Exactly. We have to get together in one room, and we have to have a conjoined and solid and consolidated vision for what this city needs to look like. Harvey does not have the luxury to continue in the way that it's going right now. So with that, I'll leave you with Alderman Chapman. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause for you, for District Commissioner Dr. Keisha McCaskill. Thank you so much, and all those who have spoken. I'd also like to, and I'm very thankful, my apparel today is done none other by this great First Ward resident, Ms. Glennis James Watson, who needed to create this particular apparel so that her voice would not be limited and folks would still get the message as to what's going on here in our great city of Harvey. So without ado, I'll let Ms. Watson.
Good afternoon. My name is Glennis Watson, resident of the First Ward. And on November 25th, 2024, at a city council meeting, I was escorted out of the meeting for apparently saying something from my seat. What many of you probably don't know is that at the beginning of every city council meeting, one of the police officers or the police chief will read a legal notice that states what our rights are within the meeting chambers, and those rights do not include anything that is protected by the First Amendment. We can't clap, we can't speak, we can't make any comments out of our seat because it's considered disruptive. It's disorderly conduct. And on November 25th, I was cited for disorderly conduct and fined $500. And it is a total shame. If you go back and watch the city's video of that meeting, you'll notice that whatever I said, I still to this day don't know what I said, was inaudible. But apparently it was enough to have a police officer come across 4 aisle rows of seating to escort me out. And it's not just me. I was probably not, certainly wasn't the first, and I probably won't be the last. Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate that we can't even exercise our freedom of speech within a meeting. Literally tonight, unless they change it between now and 7 o'clock, literally tonight you will hear the police chief or one of his designees read a legal notice and cite some laws and statutes and ordinances and blah blah blah, some of which don't even pertain or are no longer in effect. But they use it as an intimidation tactic, and that's the other thing. The mayor is using the police officers as to weaponize them against the citizens, for them to stay in their place, basically. So just go back and watch any of the YouTube videos for city council meetings prior to today, and you'll see how eerily quiet it is in the chambers. Again, we can't speak. We can't, if somebody makes a comment that we are like, we can't say, yeah, that was good, or if there's a comment that they make that we don't like, ooh, we don't agree with that. None of that. You'll be escorted out in a heartbeat. So, so I had this shirt made because I even made a public comment following that meeting that I'm going to wear this shirt anywhere I can, because I hope it'll draw conversation from other people as to, well, what does that mean? You were denied your right to speak, or your freedom of speech. That's what happened. And so that cannot continue. We're tax-paying residents. We have every right to know where our tax money is being spent. We have every right to be informed of things before the council meetings. We don't get any idea of what's happening prior to the meetings because they don't release the packet. The agenda is barely put out in advance for us to even know what's going to be discussed. But as residents, we have no opportunity to review what's going to be on the meeting agenda, no opportunity to know the bills and the financial status of the city. There hasn't been a treasurer's report since 2019. We don't get monthly treasurer report. I mean, this is where what we live with as residents of Harvey. We're treated as if we're children and have no brain cells to put together to be able to conduct ourselves. So with that, thank you.
And she's banned from the agenda. She can't even get her name on the agenda, and they won't even allow her to speak during the city council meeting. She's the elected treasurer for the city of Harvey in the state of Illinois, certified, and she has no power. They withhold all financial information away from her. And if she says anything, she's been escorted out. She's been escorted out too, and she's the treasurer.
Sound like y'all got a mob boss, not a man.
A dictator. Dictator.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan Sinwelski. I run the Harvey Historical Society. I also live in Harvey. My family has been here for over 100 years. My great uncle operated Wasso's, which is a well-known grocery store in Harvey. So I just want everybody to see, you know, we really have a diversity of ages, races, religions. I don't know if you just heard the call to prayer. There's a mosque down the street. So my question is, why don't we have people coming out to our meetings? I mean, we know a big part of the answer is when people are getting arrested, people are getting ticketed, people are scared. So if there's anything I want to get out there to the media and to people is that don't be scared. If we all stand together, there's nothing that can stop us. However, I do have to say I am disappointed in that as much as we have gotten some media coverage, it seems that, you know, if Tiffany Henyard blows her nose the wrong way, the media will storm and cover her, and there will be wall-to-wall coverage. But here, this is not the first or the second or the third time my alderwoman has been, this is the third time my alderwoman has been arrested, falsely arrested. This time, the mayor added her mother. I mean, and we still don't get a lot of media coverage. Tiffany didn't even do this, you know, so I'm not downplaying corruption in other places, but I really want to get out there to the media that there is widespread corruption in the South. and a lot of these folks are connected. So please do your job. We're just average citizens. We need people to ask the hard questions. Who is protecting Mayor Clark? Who is protecting the people that commit these atrocities? Because the state is not getting involved. The federal government, the FBI often takes years to do their investigations, and we don't really see the county. Thank goodness we have a new commissioner who's from Harvey, but we just see there's so much silence, and I have to say the silence from the authorities is deafening. It is deafening. I have to ask, if this were a community that were like Hinsdale or even Hyde Park or Oak Park, do you think that this would, or Evanston, where Miss Glynis actually came to us from Evanston, would this be happening? Would an alderwoman who does nothing but ask questions for us, would she be arrested 3 times for no reason? Why do we not get intervention from the authorities? Why? So please, if you're out there, if you're part of the media, anybody, we just want answers to our questions. I also do want to respond because the mayor said some nasty things about me last week, basically trying to say, because I'm gay, I must be a child molester. So again, I want to say, where's the media? If this happened in Evanston, it would be on the 6 o'clock news. Wow, how could a mayor do that? Where are the LGBT activist groups? Just because I'm white and gay and live in Harvey, that means that Harvey doesn't count? Do we get ignored because we have a lot of residents who happen to be darker skinned? Or maybe we don't make super high salaries, every one of us? We still have rights. And we deserve to have those rights protected. So we're standing up for our rights. And I want to say to anybody, if you're gay or if you're LGBT, any part of that community, no matter what your race is, your age, whatever, I stand with you. Do you stand with me? Do you stand with us? Come out together. We can do this, but you have to show up to the meetings. We need your help. Everyone must stand together. Christopher Clark has done everything but tell us where the money is being spent and what they're doing with our resources, our properties. So whether he wants to call me a molester because I'm gay, or he wants to have her arrested any number of times, he will not answer where is the money going. We are not asking for anything that is wrong or improper. We just want to know, what are you doing with our money? And because we don't happen to be an upper middle income community with a lot of lawyers and doctors, that doesn't mean we do not deserve justice. We have rights too. So thank you so much, and like I said, I do hope to see everyone come out. We'll all stand together, and we will prevail. And thank you to my Alderwoman Colby, who has stood up time and time again. You guys have to realize, she has a life. This puts a lot of strain on. I mean, can you imagine when all of us? Why do I have this body cam? YouTube activists donated their money. I didn't even ask them to get me this body cam because they're so worried for us. People that we just ask questions. They're like, "Are you okay?" We want to make sure that because they send police after us. They follow her to her home. Why is this not on the evening news every night? So thank you again. Thank you, Rick.
In closing, we want to just give homage to Pastor, Doctor, as well as Alderwoman. Y'all give an Alderwoman a And not only that, I just want to say that we need to stay in the eye of the press because we expect retaliatory behavior.
Absolutely.
This mayor is definitely retaliatory in nature. He tries to hit with low blows, with personal attacks, in hopes that it will keep you away from being verbal or exposing some of his tactics or means of leadership. The dictatorship that's happening here in the city of Harvey will be stopped with the people that are behind us and with leadership like we have right here that's present right here. We have Alderman Tracy Keys as well that's present as well. And it's just time for us to start calling for reform. Reform of government, reform of governance, and also just making sure that we support the people that are speaking out for what's right. I know for sure that the mayor's going to retaliate. I've received a ticket at my church. He a trash ticket and my water bill, the business license. He reversed my payment for my business license. I'm expecting all type of retaliatory behavior because of this federal class action lawsuit that has been filed against the city of Harvey. But I just want the media to keep it on the forefront. I'm not afraid of Clark, and God can give us the spirit of fear. That's why we all are here.
That's right.
And we are not going to back down. The fight starts tonight, and we will protect our rights. We will protect our rights. That's a public building paid for by taxpayers, and we will protect our rights at all costs.
Tell them what they're holding over the alderman's head. The expense accounts and getting stuff done in your ward.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you don't do what he
it's
says,
definitely be
tell them.
some form
You can't
of
get nothing
Come
fixed.
to the mic,
some form of segregation.
Tell him, sir. Tell him.
This is in a nutshell what it all revolves around. Money for the expense accounts for each alderman. They get a certain amount for every quarter that they can spend in their wards to fix things. And when things need to be fixed, what order is it done in? Will you be put last or will you be kicked to the side? They know if they do not vote the way that he wants them to vote, they will get no money for their ward, no resources. They can't have stuff for the residents, and nothing will get fixed, and that will guarantee that you will be kicked out of office. He is the one that's dangling the bait over their heads like there's some little kitty cats or something. That's why things are the way they are. All four of them voted to have her censured and arrested. And the reason why they did it was because they knew if they didn't, they wouldn't get no money. Shirley Zawinski.
Yes.
Yep.
Dominique Randawell. Tyrone Rogers.
Call him out.
Who am I missing? And Talani Smith. All of them. And the women I'm really ashamed of for what women have gone through. They set women back 60 years.
Good name, bro.
We won't reform.
Absolutely.
Mazurka Irvin, former trustee of the Harvey Public Library.
Yes.
Thank you.
Amen.
Good evening, everybody. If, I guess they can hear me. It's not.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I just want to thank everybody out, and I just want to first start on off and echoing a quote from Grammy Award-winning artist Kendrick Lamar. Said, "Sometimes people got to pop up and show out." You know, if you feel what I'm saying, you know, sometimes you have to pop out on people. I've been on them for over 7 years, and it's always been a constant battle ever since I stepped in office. It's always a mess. I always try to make peace. But sometimes, you know, enough is enough. If I was just given just the opportunity for the things that I can't answer, that the mayor would explain, because I'm limited to certain things that I can do, but I get out here and I show people that I care. I stand by Alderwoman Chapman, you know, and the thing about it is this is not just standing by her side. Of course, she's tall, she's pretty, she's doing her thing, you know what I mean? It's about standing on the right side. That's
right.
That's all it is. I personally told the mayor, the aldermen, as long as you're doing the right thing, I'll be right there by your side. And that's period. I'm sorry for my tardiness, but going down 154th Street, they doing all the work and the construction work. I don't know what they doing. I didn't approve of it, whatever. Waiting back on the bus, everything just to get down here. And that street was already pretty decent.
Yes, it was.
But then as soon as I head on my block and my brother residents' blocks, they see potholes, vacant properties, everything going, and they come to me. And then the mayor hides behind it and said, "Well, call your alderman." And when I call the alderman, when they call me and I call down to City Hall, I get treated. I'm not asking to be treated special, but I am a voice of the people. And I'm not going to tell people how to do their job. I'm just going to offer suggestions and offer I help. I get out here, I cut grass, I shovel snow, I do anything. If you saw me tomorrow, you wouldn't see me in no suit. You'll see me in some clothes like I'm working. You know, but what I'm saying is this: tonight, let tonight be a good example of people showing up and showing out in a respectful way, because I know it's looking to see somebody try to do the foo-foo or do whatever. Let him be the person, and y'all just read between the lines and understand what everybody's saying, what everybody is doing, and then together, we can make this Harvey rise, you know? It's like the Isley Brothers, like you said, you know, when will there be a harvest for the world? When is going to be a harvest for Harvey world?
Amen.
And I want it now. As long as I'm here. Thank you.
All right. And pardon me. And with that, we're going to close today's press conference. Again, I want to echo and resonate that I thank each and every person in front and back of me, because you all are capturing us proactively provoking our passion for wanting a better community, saying no to abhorrent and crass behavior, and unifying for the citizens of the residents of Harvey. Thank you. All right. Council meeting starts at 7. If you're interested in signing up for public comment, I believe that the doors are open. Are the doors? 6:45. I urge you to sign up for public comment. Let your First Amendment right be heard. Voice your concerns. Say what you feel. Do it in a very respectful way, because that's the only way myself as well as everyone else does. Let's do it peacefully, but let's also ensure that our voices are heard today. Thank you. Well, you know what? I'm no stranger to opposition. Hey, y'all. I'm no stranger to opposition. I think those look like teachable moments. And simply what we're asking is that the minority voice be heard. We understand what the majority vote is, but I just simply want the minority voice to be heard. I want everybody to have questions. Similarly to today, you all are pressed and you all came because you all have several questions about what happened. Back in the day, your parents would tell you there are no dumb questions. And so I follow in that banner, and I simply want to just be a voice and inquire on the behalf of our residents, which in Robert's Rules of Order, when there's a motion and a second call, following is debate or discussion, right? And I've simply tried to motion to even refer things to the Economic Development Committee, where I was kicked off on Monday, February the 12th, where I sat as the chair and brought that back since 2019. Being also the chair or the co-chair of the Finance Committee, where I was removed from that committee on Monday, April the 12th, similarly just for simply inquiring. We should all have several questions based on what our perception is, and if perception is reality, then we can look around and see that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So that's where my question asking comes from, simply wanting to do the best and most righteous thing, because whatever is good for America needs to be good here in the city of Harvey.
My next question is, when you were detained, and I hate to just kind of bring this up, but just to stop the speculation, when you were kind of taken or ushered out of the room, just take us through that process. What was said to you? We do hear in some of the reporting saying, "Don't touch my stuff." We know that some of the same officers are involved. I've seen the pictures of the bruising on your body. Talk about that for us.
Well, you know, that same detective, Detective Manganya, arrested me on Thursday, August the 22nd, Wednesday, October the 16th, and my most recent arrest alongside my mother was on Monday, April the 28th. Like many, we've seen what's happened in the news when brutality arises on the behalf of police officers. That doesn't mean that every police officer is bad, and I'm not saying that every police officer here in the city of Harvey is. What I'm saying is we must stricken tyrant behavior, dictatorship behavior. I didn't know what to do. I'm watching from afar in my second ward aldermanic seat, my mother be tugged and pulled simply because she echoed, "Please let my daughter go." She was thrown immediately into handcuffs while 3 men ushered their way to me. I'm still trying to get over Thursday, August the 22nd, Wednesday, October the 16th, when I couldn't even be here in the city of Harvey for 5 days because I was told that if a police officer found me anywhere here, I too would be arrested. And so when I think about that, I'm immediately scared. But those same things that fill me up with fear also fill me up with hope. And I know that once a day, just like every other day, we're going to push forward and do what's mighty and great for this city.
I know they charged you with resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, your mom as well. The mayor also says on the way out that you hit or pushed an officer. Just for the record, and they also charged you with battery, I believe. Did you, in fact, push an officer, hit an officer during this process?
I did not hit an officer, push an officer on my way out of the council. And as a matter of fact, I too learned the news of an additional charge via NBC's telecast, because the only two things that we're aware of at this time are disorderly conduct and resisting arrest of an officer.
They were squeezing you and pushing you. Yeah, they were squeezing you hard. Tell them you got bruises all over your body.
You know, Mr. Rogers, I sent you that very troubling photo of my arm badly bruised. And nobody should have to ingest physical behavior simply for inquiry. And unfortunately, I digested that. But the bruise has gone away. The memory never will. And I'm simply pushing forward. I still want to use my legislative voice and power to empower the residents.
Last but not least, I promise, do you think in the future there will ever be an opportunity for one-on-one with the mayor? We asked him a few minutes ago when we interviewed him. He said that you all have tried to conduct a one-on-one. It goes nowhere. What's your plan for future meetings? How can you all still get the work done for Harvey without the disruptions, if you will?
Absolutely. Let me take you back. On Tuesday, May 8th, I was elected. On Wednesday, May 9th, my father and I sat in the vestibule area 2.5 hours awaiting to speak with the mayor. I actually came on my own initiative because I wanted to extend the olive branch to say, what can we do to move the second ward in the city of Harvey forward? That's a main focus. Similar to the past incidents, I continue to push forward. For instance, this Saturday, in fellowship and in partnership with my soror, Dr. Keisha E. McCaskill, we're hosting a recycle and resource fair Saturday, May 17th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Pastor Luther Mason's Church at 15446 South Lexington. We invite the mayor and all the alderpersons and everybody in the city of Harvey. You know, no matter what has happened, I've continued to push forward, understanding the past, but being more relished in the present and what we can do to move the city forward. So this is my open invitation to our mayor, Christopher J. Clark. I would love to sit down, meet with you, talk with you, and figure out how do we change the demographic, the idea, the ideology, the look, the feel, the business district of the second ward. I'm open for that. And I'm saying that now on a nationally syndicated program in front of all the people in the world, that I am open to having that meeting and sitting down and figure out how can we build that camaraderie so we can move the agenda of the people forward. Because it's all about the people, the taxpayers. Yeah. It's not about us. It's not about I or it's not a we, they. It's all of us. Thank you.
Could I say? I wanted to say something in the Alderwoman's defense to the gentleman from NBC2. I was very disappointed. I did see the report from CBS. I actually took video. I was in the rear. From what I could see, at no time was Alderwoman Chapman aggressive. I have never seen her be aggressive towards police or anything. What I do remember is that the mayor asked the police to escort her out. This is very important to clarify because I saw this on CBS and they misreported this. CBS 2 misreported. So the mayor asked the police to escort her out. Alderwoman Chapman was gathering her things. They put their hands on her and started taking her things, and she said, please, leave me my space. I'm gathering my things. So I just want to be really clear. Go back, watch the video for yourself, but I was there. I think it's pretty clear. But that was very, very inaccurately reported on CBS. Also, there was no quote or anything from Ms. Chapman, and I've seen 2 reports from CBS. So
there were female officers present.
There were female officers as well, and the most aggressive male officers were the one that went after my alderwoman. So thank you. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you. You can still say something.
Let me say something later on.
Good. You look so nice. Good. I just wanted to clarify that because now CBS has come out with 2 reports that are making Kobe look like she was the aggressor. I'm like, she was not the aggressor. But nice to meet you finally. Oh my goodness.
You met me before. You just don't remember.
Oh, in person we did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Remember that day when the firemen showed up, the first day they showed up at Dope. You was in the fireman.
Oh, that was at the Village Hall?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You was in line that day. I think you was in line that day. I think you was there. We met.
648. If you're gonna speak,
No, you're right. You could.
need to
Are you
go
going to cover
in
the
and
meeting?
sign up on the side of the
Yay!
sheet.
You can sit in the back with me.
No, I'm sitting in the front.
I hope you do, but just be aware he may try to come after you.
Okay, well, cool. I'm sitting in the front. That's why I ain't got no gear, nothing like that. That's why I wanted to sit in the front.
No, I hope you do. I hope you push the limits, you know?
Yeah, I'm going to push
But
it.
you know he tries to tell us
Yeah.
if anyone wants to record at all, they put us in this little back corner under threat of arrest.
Yeah.
He's so petty.
Yeah, he's ready.
And if this were happening in a richer town or in a whiter town, this would not be happening.
At all.
But Harvey is considered disposable.
That's it.
It's just a whole bunch of poor, mostly darker skinned people.
Right.
What does that make a difference? We're still humans.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I got a lot of dirt on him. He closed one of my friend's business, though. He just waiting. He got the FBI involved in it, so it's going to come out.
Oh,
I'm
really?
gonna have to start, yeah.
You should talk about it. Are you gonna share? Hey, Mr. Ryan.
I'm gonna talk about it. He haven't gave me clearance to talk about it yet, but he just told me.
It's 10 to 7, Ryan.
Okay.
It's 10 to 7 if you
Oh,
go
okay.
speak.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I would love to hear more about that. So, yes. Great job. I'm so glad everybody came out.
All right, go
Yay!
all right.
Yay!
I'm here.
Thank you. You did too. You can always come out, Martin. We always have lots of scandalous stuff going on.
I remember you was at the Mississippi video. You was at
I
like a
covered-
school council.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I was arrested in Dixmoor.
Right,
They arrested me. Yeah, that case is pending. And then also, what was I going to say? Michael Earhart.
Right.
And he's such a wonderful
Yeah,
man.
that's my buddy. Yeah.
I'm still waiting on an update from him, and he did promise. He promised to update. I know because I said, don't you just lay down for that mayor? I said, you help so many people. He said, no, I'm not.
So he don't want nobody recording. I mean, I'm just a regular, sit down. Let's see what he say. I'm just regular. That's why I didn't want to come with all that gear like that. All that just regular.
No, I love it. I wish we had more. But this is good. This is very positive, That's all we can do is try to take the negative, and turn it into a positive, right?
How long the meeting? Like 2 hours, an hour?
Yeah, maybe an hour to 2. It just depends. It's usually not super
Punish
long.
my hand, though. That's okay. I'm ready.
Good. I'm so glad. I'm glad all these NBC, you guys came. Everybody did. This is great.
You talked about we don't show up and you ride.
Well, sometimes it's just, hey, thanks, Tracy.
But the quickest way to get us to show up, just issue press releases. That is the key.
I've emailed all the media and then no one shows up. I've emailed press releases, so I don't know what
you do. Okay.
I don't know what it's. That's why I said I don't know what it's going to take. I'm thinking people want ratings, they want scandal. But the funny thing is, we have plenty of scandalous content. If that's all the people want, we have it. And we have had reports, but it tends to be like Regina. She's come in and she's like, oh, I would love to cover more. And I've texted her. I'll text her personally, say this is going on. Can you come cover it? No, because my boss won't let me. She said it all depends on what the editors allow. So,
that's true.
So that's why I say it on camera, because you guys are just the foot soldiers for the most part. I want the people who are making the decisions in the C-suite.
So when you send a press release, keep in mind, just use a lot of action words.
Okay.
That's the key too. Instead of say did, say do. You know what I mean?
They want it in the present tense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Because
so the mayor is doing this?
Correct.
Okay.
Instead of the mayor did this. So those action words really, really get their attention. Because and then when it goes into the system, everybody gets it, including the big wigs. So they know. Sometimes they'll even send text down to the desk and say, hey, we need to send someone to Harvey.
Is that when we email tips? The tips email?
Nah, the tips no, just to the assignment desk.
Assignment desk. Okay.
Assignment desk.
Because I think at least a few emails for NBC, but I forget which ones that I use.
The one that says assignment desk, that's the one you want.
That's better than tips? The tips one? Okay.
Yeah, the tips, do you know? Yes, the thing with the
Let me
tips,
mark that down because I